Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. A couple of months ago during a live chat, a subscriber asked me if I would weigh in on this whole idea of a divine feminine, a divine masculine, and how narcissistic abuse fits in, and basically just giving my stance on this, or how I perceive this to go down. And that's what we're going to do in this video. So thank you to that subscriber. Excellent topic. And I do believe this is something that is necessary to bring up in the community, because a lot of survivors can get this twisted, and that can definitely keep them in a perpetual cycle of being abused. All right. And that's definitely what I don't want, people to be breaking their no contact because they're feeling pulled in to this toxic relationship because they have labeled it or given this person the label of being the divine masculine and the divine feminine, for them. So, let's just think about this for a second. What does the word divine even mean? It means of or from or like God or of God. It means excellent and delightful. Okay, what in the world makes a narcissist excellent and delightful? What in the world makes the narcissist of God per se? Either. Or saintly, or angelic, or godlike, or godly, spiritual. None of that. When you're thinking of someone who's made it to the level of being a divine feminine or divine masculine, we're talking about someone who's done the work, not someone who hasn't done the work. Someone who is tapped into their divine masculine and feminine energy and have found the balance, for the masculine energy and the feminine energy, because both men and women have masculine and feminine energy within them. But obviously, when it's the divine masculine, they're going to be leading with their masculinity, but there's also a balance with their feminine energy. And vice versa, you guys. A narcissist is never going to be your divine masculine or divine feminine, or anyone's divine masculine or divine feminine. What they are in actuality are karmic relationships, you guys. Anytime you're in a relationship with a narcissist, is going to be a karmic relationship. And what is a karmic relationship? A karmic relationship is one that's filled with a lot of passion, but is extremely difficult to maintain, you guys. All right, these types of relationships aren't meant to last, but they're learning experiences for those who have them. It's very basic. But what the problem is when people get in a karmic relationship and they want it to be the divine relationship. They want that person to be that divine masculine or feminine for them. And they give them that title, and they're very stubborn about holding on to that title. And all along, what they're really experiences are cycles of abuse in a karmic relationship, you guys. So let's talk about, why this is a karmic relationship and some signs that will indicate that this is a karmic relationship. All right. Number one, they repeat patterns. If you're a divine masculine and a divine feminine, you're going to be susceptible to living and learning, not repeating the same dumb cycles over and over, the same toxic cycles over and over, getting stuck. This is a person that doesn't have self-awareness, or if they're having self-awareness, they're choosing to stay in the mud. Karmic relationships, that's where you got to get it out the mud. You got to go through the grind. This is struggle love, basically. So if you're repeating patterns in your relationship and things are basically going to be remaining stagnant because of that, and you're not growing, a divine masculine together with a divine feminine, they're going to grow and they're going to soar. Because they've done the work and they have enough wisdom. They know how to communicate. They know how to work together. They know how to mesh their energies in a way that's going to be fruitful. And you will see the fruits that are going to bear from a tree like that. So they're not repeating these cycles on and off again. This is a huge red flag right off the rip, repeating these cycles and patterns, not being able to come together properly. When God put two people together, it's to honor and to glorify Him. It's not going to be a bunch of chaos, okay? It's just not going to be that. Another sign, you guys, of a karmic relationship: selfishness. A divine masculine and a divine feminine, they understand self-preservation, but they also have a respect for community, okay? So it's not going to just be I, me, myself, and I. They understand the next generation and inheritances, and each one teach one, and is not going to be this selfish energy where it's all about them. They're going to see how that actually hurts them in a long way, Narcissists and toxic people, they're too ignorant and unevolved and unaware at times. And even if they are aware, they're unevolved, to see where that selfishness is actually going to bite them in the butt too, sooner than they think. But yeah, karmic relationships do not respect healthy boundaries in their partners. They only serve their own self-interest and needs, And this is a perfect template for forming an abusive or codependent relationship and those types of dynamics, you guys. So, while one person could be very invested, the other person views it as more of a convenience, or, what can they get out of it, or just this transactional thing. Okay. Another aspect of a karmic relationship is they are addictive. And this is, how we talk about the trauma bond and what's happening in the brain and the hormones that are being released that are, increasing the passion, but it's not increasing the growth of the relationship. It's increasing the intensity of the passion that the two of you are feeling for each other while nothing is getting done, So one or both partners are feeling like they're in love with each other, feeling like they found the one, and it's all very superficial in actuality. Okay. Another way you guys can tell that it's a karmic relationship is there's controllingness. Now there's a difference between the divine masculine guiding and leading versus controlling. Okay. And there's a difference between, of course, the divine feminine as well. She could be controlling instead of being able to submit to the divine masculine, but not submit to be controlled, but submit to his protection, and his leadership. Okay? So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of controlling dynamics here as well. And then that leads to, someone needing to be probably put on a pedestal rather than both of you being on a throne, which is a divine masculine and a divine feminine should both be on a throne. It's not like you're just somebody's servant, okay? Another thing about the karmic relationships is it might feel destined, and perhaps it is destined in a certain aspect, but not forever destined, meaning, a chapter of your life was with that karmic, as I said in the beginning, so that you can get those lessons, you guys, so that you can get those lessons and grow, so that when you meet your divine masculine, divine feminine, you've had a lot of growing pains by then, and you're going to know this person, you're going to value this person, and you're going to have the maturity and wisdom to be able to not only attract this person, but keep this person at that point. Okay? Another sign that it could be a karmic relationship is this instant connection. Sometimes the harder it starts, the quicker it ends. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who end up in long-term relationships, they might tell you that it was a gradual thing in the beginning. It wasn't this huge love bomb. Okay, that's what we can call this instant connection, this feeling of a love bomb, this feeling that this person is perfect for you. How do you know that instantly? This has to be driven off of what? Lust and shallow things. And these aren't the things that maintain healthy relationships in the long term. Okay, so this immediate spark, this immediate attraction, that we take and run with, and oh, this is the one, based off of what? What do we really know about that person just yet? So just be mindful of that too. And of course, we call that AKA the love bomb phase. All right. Another thing that to consider with these karmic relationships is they create dependency in a negative way. You feel consumed by a relationship, and there isn't a balance where you lose your individuality, perhaps, and this isn't good because yet again, when God is bringing two people together, it doesn't mean that you're not an individual anymore. It just means that he has a purpose that the both of you can come together and do as well, but you still have your separate gifts too. So if you feel like you're losing yourself with someone, that's that codependency even. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that creating of codependency and dependency where you're losing yourself and being overly consumed and out of balance in a relationship, that's certainly going to be a sign of a karmic relationship. Another way or another thing to consider is it's bringing out your worst fears. And then you may find yourself staying in a relationship out of fear instead of out of love. Obviously, if it's with a divine masculine and a divine feminine, the root of that in a nucleus, it should always be love, not fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being rejected, fear of, whatever the fear is. For a narcissist, fear of not having their needs met, or whatever it is that they want to have. And then there's a lot of fears. You could have fear of abandonment, fear of commitment, fear of loss, fear of emotional engulfment. That's the narcissist. And all of the skeletons that are hiding in our closet and of the shadow work that isn't done on either side at that point. Okay? The next thing is, these relationships can be irrational and may not even make sense. Be like, wait, y'all been through this and that, y'all did this and that, and y'all still trying? Like, after it's been proven over and over that this relationship does not make any sense, it's not coming together, it's not working out, and it's just irrational at that point. But yet, because that passion is there, right? It's going to go back to that feeling of passionate and pulling you in. And it's irrational though, because it's proven. It's proven right before your eyes. It's proven, but both people don't want to let go. Okay. These type of relationships also tend to reveal your dark side. When you're with a divine masculine and a divine feminine, they should be bringing out your light side, not your dark side per se. Not your dark side per se. Now, if they bring out your dark side, it should be to help heal it, not to trigger it, to hurt you, or, make it grow immensely more. So, okay, you had this dark side. Now they came into your life. That dark side has not healed. It's actually gotten worse. That's a karmic relationship, okay? And these relationships, because of that, they end up being tumultuous, you guys. Incredibly, volatile and unpredictable and, just exhausting at that point, These relationships are going to be pushing your buttons, all right? But that's the part of it to give you an opportunity to grow, not to frustrate you, but hopefully get your attention to things that you need to grow in your relationship. But once you do that, you're supposed to let it go, and then sometimes people do the work and then they still have a little bit of a hard time at the end letting go of that karmic relationship, because of their emotional entanglement. Okay? But at the end of the day, usually these relationships do not last. And that's why it's so important to understand these signs, you guys, because you don't want to stay in it longer than you need to, because all you're doing is dragging it out, and the inevitable is going to still happen. This is how someone can be with someone for 20, 30 years. You're still getting a divorce because it was still your karmic relationship. You guys just wouldn't get out of it. And, there's consequences to that, point blank, period. You could be in a marriage and had a bunch of kids and this and that, but you stayed in it. All it did was give you more children, and now the divorce is still going to take place. And it's not that you don't love your children, but man, how much sweeter would it have been if you had just saved that for your divine masculine or divine feminine? All right, this is not your forever person. I mean, they're not going to give you this fairy tale ending, contrary to, what people try to paint nowadays. Oh, you got to be down, you got to build with this one and that one, go through this and that, and go through all these tests. And no, it shouldn't be those type of tests. It shouldn't be volatile. That's the whole thing. These are volatile relationships, you guys. With a narcissist is always going to be karmic. It is just going to be karmic, you guys. Now, let's take a moment here to talk about what a divine masculine is. I mean, we did look up the word divine earlier, just for both of them. But let's talk about the divine masculine and what his energy looks like for those of you who still may need some convincing here, as far as, why that narcissist that you're emotionally tangled with and have all these toxic ties and in bondage to is not your divine masculine, and you're not needing to wait for this person to grow up or go through this and that and be patient. If anything, if you listen to these channels, a lot of them will say the same thing. Don't wait for that person, because they ain't got themselves together. They ain't divine yet. They are not divine yet. You're giving them that title prematurely, okay? So let's talk about the traits of the divine masculine, all right? I had such a good definition. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, the divine masculine is a leader with his divine feminine and within his community. He does not lead by accumulating power and control, but rather leads from a place of love and security. Okay? Now, that doesn't sound like narcissistic abuse at all, and it certainly doesn't sound like the energy of a narcissist. Okay? So that's a beautiful thing when someone is trying to be a leader, and they're leading by showing. They're not leading by do as I say, but not as I do. Because, narcissists have that type of energy. They're very hypocritical. They sit in their high horse, in their white glass house that they refuse to acknowledge that they're in as well. And they want to throw stones and bricks at other people when their house is already shattered with a bunch of glass holes in it in itself, honestly. But yeah, a divine masculine is a leader with not by themselves, with the divine feminine. But when you meet the divine masculine, he can already be doing this by himself. But the reason why I said not by himself is meaning once he comes together with that person. See, once a narcissist comes together with someone, they still want, I'm over you, you're my servant, you're my, this hierarchy thing. But with a divine masculine, it's like, no, you're my yin to my yang. We're side by side, baby. Both of the energies come together. So let's talk about some traits then of the divine masculine. Here it is. I'm like, I had this up. All right. So some of the traits of the divine masculine: responsible, vulnerable, you guys, adventurous, courageous, solutions oriented. That's a big one. Logical, pursuant, protective, grounded, you guys, giving, providing, action oriented, leading, boundary setters, and steadfast. Okay, those are some traits right there to think about. All right, so let's jump into the divine feminine definition, which I had up too, a very good one. All right. Ugh. I had a really good definition of it that I want to share with you guys. But I'll just use my own words. Okay, here we are. Traits of the most often associated, traits that are most often associated with the feminine are things like connection, empathy, and nurturing. That certainly doesn't sound like a female narcissist, okay? She is pure energy and flows and changes like the water of the river. That's what they're saying there. But to me, it's a woman that understands the beauty of being a woman. And, you know, she respects herself and her body, okay? And she's happy in that, you know? She commands respect because she already has it for herself. You know, that's the divine feminine. She's not just wrapping her world around finding a divine masculine. You know, she understands divine timing, and she's okay with living her life, and understands that even by herself that she has purpose and lots to do with or without the divine masculine. But she understands once he comes that they're going to have a purpose together as well, okay, and a legacy to build together. And that's how I see the divine feminine. So when we think about female narcissists, you know, this is not the energy of a female narcissist. So she's never going to be that. She is just a karmic relationship to prepare you for your divine feminine. And it's not that she's going to switch from being the karmic to the divine. Okay? No, not if it's a narcissist. She understands the sacred union, you know, the divine union of the two coming together. All right? And she understands masculine energy, not to manipulate it, but to be a support system too. Okay? So I hope that, you know, this video is just making this crystal clear, you guys, about the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. All right? And it's about growing and not tearing things down, because that's what narcissists do. They destroy, where when it's the divine masculine and divine feminine energy, it's giving life, you guys. All right? I don't want this video to be too long, but I hope that, you know, this is satisfying that inquiry about what do I feel about it. Can a divine masculine get in a karmic relationship? Yes, but he should not stay in it. He should be able to quickly realize it and remove himself, you know, because the karmic can try to portray to be the divine feminine. You see what I'm saying? And just like a divine feminine can connect with a karmic, but they should have enough wisdom to get out of there, though. They should have enough wisdom to get out of there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end that right there. And, you know, take what you can to help you on your journey. Hit the like button if this video has been helpful to you. But the main takeaway is no, the narcissist will never be that divine feminine or divine masculine energy in your life. Do not put your life on hold. Do not stay on a hamster wheel. Do not keep investing. Do not keep waiting for them to for a change that will never come, you guys. All right? Just let them go about their business. All right? And understand that, yes, it's a karmic relationship. Realize and figure out what lessons are you supposed to learn and take away. Take them and be about your business so that you can eventually actually get to the real, not the fake, frauding, you know, the real divine masculine and the real divine feminine. All right, you guys, until next time, never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And until next time, please take care.